There's a Latvian saying, learning a craft is a golden foundation for one's future. A person who devotes themselves on a daily basis to their craft can produce things which are not only useful and practical, but which are of lasting historical and cultural value. Those who focus on their craftsmanship develop special skills which can be traced to our common spirit as a people, reflecting national character as well as echoing Latvia's natural landscape. Join us now in gaining fresh insight into the lives of craftspeople in the districts of Tukums and Angure, who are keeping traditions alive and helping these traditions to flourish with new meanings and new perspectives. I produce black ceramics. At the moment, the kiln is firing. It's a kiln which uses wood for fuel. The firing cycle is nearing its end, and that means that inside it should be over 1,000 degrees centigrade. When this temperature level is reached, then the clay will have properly baked, and from the clay, the ceramic object will have materialized. And at this point, the ceramic will not turn back into clay. After a while, I'll be walling up the kiln so the air does not get in. This is an ancient way of firing to create an environment deprived of oxygen, and a chemical reaction takes place where the clay changes its color and the surface turns gray. The black tone highlights the shape, the texture, and finish more than any other. And so, when working with black ceramics, you want to be thinking differently, paying special attention to the shape of the ceramic, the choice of glazes, and all other aspects. Standard ways of doing things bore me. I want to be doing something special. I used to look on the process of forging as simply bending something, but the fact that you can actually pull out shapes from iron as you would from clay was not within my reckoning. I basically make and do things in a way that makes sense to me. For 10 years, I've been forging by hand, and what once took 3 days, well, 2 to 3 days, now I can do in 15 minutes with a forging machine. More or less, I try to stick with doing things that appeal to me and how I like them. This is living and being in the moment. When I was at work, I also had to make things for my friends. In the past, I made baskets for my friends who were girls, and afterwards, when I got married, I was making baskets for my wife's friends, and my own business gradually grew from that. The risk to jump into basket making was real, but I must say that no thanks to what I was wishing for, and I did not lack in wishes, but to exactly those girls for whom I was making my baskets, I should be giving thanks. There were no mobile phones at the time. You had to wait at home for girls to call. Then I would sit and wait, but also weave baskets so that the waiting was not so dull. My teachers were so good, my father, my cousin, and I also took courses and looked through the books on the subject. And even today, if I need an idea, I go and take a book off the shelf. We make boats. We also go sailing. At first, we were just renovating the boats that we were sailing, but I'm more a builder of boats than a sailor. In the year 2000, we began building trimarans. People could order a custom-made boat from me, and so we were making all kinds of interesting things that were made nowhere else in the world. If it occurs to someone that it would be great to have something on the boat they are dreaming of, then we can make it a reality. To do this work as precisely as possible, we begin with renderings and agree together on what we'll produce. And this is one of the panels infused with resin that are used on this kind of boat, where the panels must be relatively light. After many years of experience in sailing, this is where we've arrived.
From the age of 20, I already liked colors a lot. I like them so much that I'm happiest when I'm working with them. We believe that we can use natural materials and dress well, and the approach has to be original. We want to be creating wearable art that is distinctive. Silkscreen printing has developed so far that from photographs, one can make truly excellent prints. The result is interesting, and what stands out is that all of it comes about with the touch of a hand. And here already you see a mixing of styles and elements which comes from applying technology and creativity in tandem. Fashion is a bit of this and that, but when you become an artist, apart from any fashion or trend, you convey your perspective to others. And in this regard, you should not be imposing strict limits on what you do. Otherwise, nothing will turn out well.
My wife and I work together, and accordingly we try to produce things which are not based on a particular pattern or model, or if they happen to be similar to something that exists, then there is some twist, something unique which sets them apart. What we make is made of wood, but fundamentally these are things you would use around the house, a tray for bread, candlesticks, decorations. In Greece we have friends that have olive groves, and it means that we get access to certain materials which are truly unique. Look, such rare beauty, and there's only one of these in the entire world, and there will never be another one like it.
This is felting, Nuno felting in particular. Felt, which is raw wool, is put on top of another natural material. For example, silk chiffon or very thin cotton like marquisette, so that the fibers can grab onto them. After you've made the composition, you saturate it with water. It's a really wet process. And that's all there is to it, to make them join up so that the fibers become entangled and grab onto one another. And you end up with a final product. And one aims at a result where the look is, how shall we say, not exactly the most expensive and posh, but one which anyone would want to have.
Varbūt ne baigi dārgam, ja, bet tādam, ko jebkurš gribēs.
Es izgatavoju no dabīgas ādas.
I prepare accessories using natural materials. I am currently making earrings for women and girls' bracelets, as well as hairbands. All of them are from natural leather, handmade work, sewn, painted. I've been making them all my life, and I'm 29. I think that each person has something they do which relaxes them and makes them feel good. And this one is mine. I'm a photographer. I'm always laughing that photography was something that was given to me when I was still in the cradle, since my grandfather also took photos. I really like taking photos. I like to take photos of people and also of nature. So that my photos don't just sit in an archive, I want to give them new life. And I want to bring them over to various materials. At first, I had the idea to transplant the photos onto wood, and I even found a successful way to do it. And then later, I got the idea that I want to bring the photos also to other kinds of materials, like fabric, ceramics, and metal. And so, with the photos I've taken, I make a number of objects that are good for design applications and interiors. I make a range of decorations and accessories, ones that are lavish and fancy, ones for daily wear, for sports, and even ones that do not fit easily into any category. I began by making decorations that look like flowers. This was the beginning of my venture in this area. Black-colored ornaments were not so easy to find at that time. You did not run into them often. And so, I branched out from flowers and made other kinds of ornaments, like the ones you see.
How did the building of timber-framed houses start? For economic reasons, folks started making such frames on buildings with heavy timber beams and balks, and then filled out the frames using the materials available. These kinds of joints were used already in the 17th century, and they are still used today, except that today we are not hewing them with primitive hatchets, but have more modern instruments. The result and the principles, however, are the same. Working at a normal pace, 3 men can complete the timber frame of a house in half a month.
A quality product is one which serves us for a long time. And for a garment to last, 2 things are necessary: quality fabric and quality work. Key to success are the seams, since they hold the fabric together, and thus the product itself will be resilient and enduring. We tailor our clothes to the individual's specifications. Because of this, a woman can buy something that will fit her as if it were made just for her, not like something you buy at the store. And only now has it crystallized on which products we will be centering our business, and where our work will be focused in the future. First and foremost, this is lingerie, and it's made for each client. The crafts I'm producing are wooden decorations, objects for interiors, personalized mementos and keepsakes, individualized gifts. These are the kinds of crafts I make. I'm working in this area because it's close to my heart, something I enjoy and which is my own. The best thing is that others also rate what I do highly. Technology alone does not do the job. What to say? The person alone also does not cut it. A big part must be invested by the person themselves so that something of value can come out of the laser cutting machine. On the computer, you must choose the font and work on the design, and then the machine does the rest. This equipment is of a sufficiently large scale so that one can work with crafts in a large format, and that is one of the things which currently sets us apart. We are the Applied Folk Arts and Crafts Studio Durbe, and a part of the interactive exposition in this museum. Visitors are coming. We have around 40 looms and 50 weavers who are coming from all over Latvia. We offer a number of workshops, seminars, courses with participants from the Studio Durbe, as well as people who are not from the studio, who want to learn how to work with different methods. We offer traditional sewing, embroidery, crocheting, knitting, lace making, tatting, wreath making, felting, including in modern ways, as well as dressmaking, making decorations and ornaments, batik making, and printing on cloth. All these things I mentioned can also be purchased at our little store.
Talented craftspeople can earn recognition for their achievements far and wide. Their works are in high demand at markets and fairs, and they can also be ordered online or purchased at the workshops where they are made. Producing crafts can be a business or a hobby. Crafts result from current initiative and creative energy while being based on traditions passed from one generation to another. Craftsmanship contributes to economic success and at the same time is a valuable source of cultural affinity, identity, and self-awareness.